Hello and thank you. My name is David Orr. I'm with the group called Action for Clean Water in Arkansas, or ADEQ. We are very concerned about a range of issues related to water quality and water resources management across the state. And so we'll be developing some detailed comments as this process moves forward. And I want to thank you for helping do a good job of outlining that process, because it is complicated, and I think the public is easily confused by a long list of steps that entail alphabet soup of this body has to approve, and if not, they go back. And so the more that I think we can look for ways to simplify the process for the general public, that's really ideal, because the general public is really who the primary constituency for these rules ought to be. And I would say that related to the composition of the stakeholder group, that it's my experience, and I have served on some of these committees, stakeholder groups, and I served on one for the Tennessee Department of Transportation on their water quality rules. And what I found is that you had industry folks who would send their well-paid staff members to sit there and be there as many days as it took to make sure that their interests and their agenda and their concerns were very well represented. But those of us who are in small citizen groups, grassroots, if you will, we're not paid to do any of this. We're sitting around the kitchen table, and we're having to do this on our own time. We don't have people in suits and lawyers who are paid to go through this stuff with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that when the final rules get passed by the APC&E Commission, that they will have all the necessary loopholes to maintain the status quo. And the status quo, let's just face it, the status quo is not working in Arkansas. Arkansas's environmental laws and enforcement are a joke among the other states in the country. Here we have ADEQ with not even the authority to go out on its own and investigate violations of the law. That is shocking, and that needs to be changed. We need to have ADEQ's paid investigative staff be able to enforce the rules without having to wait for someone to call them. Because most citizens don't know if something is if some activity is in compliance or not. I guarantee you can go around this state and look for those stormwater runoff silt fences, and I would be willing to bet Mitt Romney $10,000 that half of those silt fences are not being maintained. And I have seen right out here on 540 recently, when they were redoing the entrance ramp, that we had silt running off into the culvert, concrete culvert, after heavy rains. We can't even get our state government to follow the law. This is shocking, and this has to change. We have to make sure that the state and its agencies and its contractors are held to account. They need to follow the rules, and if they break the rules, those rules need to be enforced by ADEQ, and it should not be the job of me and you, who already have our own lives, to go out there and play policeman. So that has to change. Let me direct your attention to the Mulberry River. Last winter, during a heavy storm, the AHTD, the Highway Department, and its contractor had constructed over on Highway 23 a massive embankment fill where they're rebuilding Highway 23.